I'm Joe Persia, and you're watching First Local, the community's news magazine program. NDP MP John Rafferty made a stop in Brantford to show his support for the local NDP association. He had some harsh words for the upcoming HST, as well as Prime Minister Harper for proroguing government. First Local's Nicole Setchell has more.
2010 is gearing up to be an interesting year as we start the year off with the proroguing government and are awaiting the arrival of the new harmonized sales tax. The new harmonized sales tax is expected to commence July 1st, 2010, and has been a big topic of conversation for both the public and political parties alike.
What makes it so unfair is it's the largest tax shift in Ontario's history. It's going from big business, from big oil and banks, and that tax burden is being shifted from there onto every consumer in this province. Some consumers in this province, 8%, they can absorb it. They've got good jobs and they've got a little bit of extra income, but there are a lot of people who do not. And I think that Mr. Harper and Mr. McGuinty are not even thinking about those people when they talk about this kind of tax.
Consultation was something that the government of the day, which is the Conservatives, didn't really look at public consultation. Now that parts of it have been passed, they've been doing some parading around that this is a tax that's going to help business. Well, it might help some business, but when I talk to small business owners in Brant, they're looking at higher utility fees, they're looking at higher fuel fees, they're looking at higher delivery fees, and they're also looking at a consumer base that's going to have far less money to spend at their businesses. And who's going to be most affected by that? Local businesses and local consumers.
I don't know, I think we're taxed out. And during these economic times, why should we be, taxed anymore? I mean, people are having trouble making a living or trouble putting food on the table, so it's not the right timing for more taxes to be paid. So, and we pay enough anyway with personal property taxes as well. I think they're using that as a cash cow.
I just feel like they're ripping us off.
I think it's ridiculous because we are going to have to pay more money for the products that are specified. I think there's specific products that we have to pay for, and it's just another way to get money off people.
Because now things that were taxed before that didn't have the GST on, everything's going to be included, so it'll be more. Everything will be taxed more. Even though the government says that it's going to be, it's going to create jobs. I don't know how that's going to create jobs. However, that's what they're saying, but I don't believe that.
For most people, this is going to be a wash. If you have the most modest means, you're actually going to have more money in your pocket. If you're middle class, like most people, it's going to be a wash. You pay a bit more on the cash register, you're going to pay a bit less on your paycheck. It's that simple. And if you make a lot of money, and you consume a lot, as opposed to saving, you're going to spend more. And that's the way it is in Europe, and that's the way it is in Asia, and that's the way it is in Latin America, that's the way it is everywhere else in the world, except here in North America.
The provincial tax portion will be added to some items that were not previously taxed, but the government has made some other provisions that will offset the impact of those additional taxes. 93% of Ontarians received a 1% tax cut as of January 1st, 2010. Low and middle income families will receive a new refundable sales tax credit of up to $260 per adult and child, and to replace the existing tax relief provided through Ontario tax credits. During the first year of the single sales tax, the government will provide sales tax transition benefits of $1,000 to families with less than $160,000 in income, and $300 to individuals in less than $80,000 in income.
I can tell you that the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and the C.D. Howe Institute, two very right-wing conservative organizations, have now come out with their study that says 40,000 jobs lost every year in Ontario for the foreseeable future because of harmonized sales tax. Mr. McGuinty will tell you that it's going to create 600,000 new jobs, harmonized sales tax. And yet the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and the C.D. Howe Institute say, you know what, it's not going to happen.
In this riding, I don't know a time that we've ever had so many people from such diverse political backgrounds and such diverse economic backgrounds rally against something, because it's dreaded. It's going to affect everybody in some way, shape, or form negatively, and it's being sold to people as it's just a tax. It's a tax change, not a tax increase. But for the average, sure. But for the average Canadian, the average person in this riding, you're looking at an $800 to $1,200 increase in their bills at the end of the year.
The Ontario government estimates show that HST will cost low and middle income people approximately $200 to $600 in increased taxes. The income tax cut, the sales tax credit, and property tax credit will offset those increased taxes.
I'm Nicole Setchell, reporting for First Local.